Hey everybody, it's Tommy Canelli and welcome back to Before the Lights podcast. The show to find out how those in sports, music, and entertainment made their mark. For all your apparel and merchandise needs, go to my website, beforethelightspod.com/merch. That's beforethelightspod.com/merch. Joining me today in a very special bonus episode is a New York Times bestselling author, a world-class entertainer with a beautiful voice. She has appeared on Larry King Live, Access Hollywood, ETV, Entertainment Tonight, and many others. Her theatrical credits include Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet. She's a singer, actress, and the daughter of the iconic legend, Dean Martin. She's also a licensed pilot. Please welcome to the show, Deana Martin. Deana, welcome to Before the Lights.
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I think it says John Griffith down in the corner. That's my handsome husband. I don't know how to switch it over to Deana. But thank you. I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm excited. So let's start here, and we're going to work our way up to where we are today. What was Deana Martin's childhood like?
Oh, my gosh. It's definitely, they should all read my book, Memories Are Made of This, Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes, because it's all in there. But it was amazing. It was fun. You know, Dean Martin was so much fun. Okay, that's first off. Mm-hmm. And, I had a great life. You know, now that I, think back about it and all the fun things that we did, it started out bumpy. My parents got divorced and then finally when I was 9 years old, I went to live with my dad. And all of a sudden there we were in this big house in Beverly Hills, 601 Mountain Drive. I had 3 new brothers and sisters and, it was all 7 kids there. And, my dad and Jeannie, my stepmom, who I called mom, she was my mom. And all of a sudden it was just like, oh my gosh, we went to Beverly Hills Catholic School with Desi Arnaz Jr. and Lucy Jr. and Anita Montalban. And, it was just an incredible life. Here we are now all these years later, and I'm still, entertaining and Dad was still so funny and fun. And it was there's, ups and downs, through people's lives. And I've had, all of them, and you come through at the end. And thank God, the way I was raised is to treat people the way you want to be treated, be kind, and, work hard, and everything it's going to be all right.
Listeners, go to my show notes. I'm going to put a link to the book, Memories Are Made of This, Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes, Stories of the Rat Pack. So go there and get your hands on this book. We're probably going to touch on a few more of those items, Deana, in the show.
Okay.
How did your father balance being an entertainer, a husband, and a father?
Yeah, and play golf.
Yeah, and play golf. I forgot about the most important part.
Oh, yeah. He told me one day, he said, Deana, the reason why I work is so I can take care of you kids and play golf. He loved it. And in the house, he would walk around, with a putter or maybe his, 3-iron or something like that. And he would practice his grip all the time. So, that's one thing. To tell you the truth, I don't know how he did it, except, to be able to do all of those things. And he was very organized with his time. He was always on time. He taught me, he said, be early. If you're not early, you're late. You have to be cognizant of other people's time. And, everybody's just as important as you are. Get there, they have their time. And so he compartmentalized, I guess that would be the word. He timed everything out. And he knew exactly what he was doing. I knew he would walk in the back door. I could hear him walk in just before, about an hour before dinner. He'd walk in and he would go right down to the bar. He would grab a Wonder Bread, a piece of Wonder Bread, put butter on it, fold it in half, and walk in, to the living room down to the bar and have a cocktail with Jeannie, with our mom. And they would talk. And then after an hour, we'd all go into the dining room, all 7 of us, and then sit down there and have a fabulous dinner. He was funny, but then and then he would maybe go upstairs after work if he was going to be doing a movie and go through his script. But he was just everything. He knew what he was doing. All right. And he made time for everything. And I think it's because he was so good at keeping time, and being on time. And that was one of his things. I don't know how he did it all, to tell you the truth.
How much did, for you, being around Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and your father have an influence on you to want to become an entertainer?
Oh, Uncle Frank and Uncle Sammy. Oh man, they were huge, and they're right behind me right now, as you can see.
I can see that.
Yeah, just great. But they taught me so much. I watched them, but I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be in show business. I loved to sing and dance, and thank heavens, I was given ballet lessons, tap lessons, piano lessons, and I was in all the school plays and things like that. So I knew what I wanted to do, but it wasn't until I think when I went to Capitol Studios with my mom, and we sat down, walking down that hallway, going into Studio A, Capitol Records, and going down there and walking into the room, and there were all the musicians, and my dad was standing there, and that's when he recorded "Memories Are Made of This." Mm. And they said, "I think we have a hit," and it was his first number one hit, and I was there. That's why I named the book "Memories Are Made of This." Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes. But I knew right then that that's what I wanted to do. One day I want to record here. And of course I did, years later. And that was an overwhelming, feeling. But Uncle Frank taught me how to phrase. He said, "Deana, what you have to do is live with the song. And as you grow, as you age, the song will become, have more meaning for you. You'll, never really try to sing it the same way twice. Just let it come from your heart and just, see how you're feeling with it. Live with the song." Sammy Davis Jr., unbelievable. Taught me how to dance. I wore his tuxedo. There's so many, as I say, stories in the book, but just watching all of them on stage together in Las Vegas at the Sands Hotel, when you hear the announcer say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel is proud to present the star of our show, direct from the bar, Dean Martin." And then he would walk out, and he looked so cool in his tuxedo, red pocket square. And he sang, and he was funny. Never sang the song all the way through. He said, "If you want to hear the whole song, buy my album." And then Uncle Frank would come out, and Uncle Sammy would come out. And you could tell how they loved each other. They had that look in their eye. They weren't jealous of each other. They just let the other one shine. And just to watch them, I said, okay, this is what I have to do. I'm going to be up on the stage at the Sands Hotel. And I did. So but they taught me everything, and they were so cool. And, lucky me that I was able to be with those guys, and also go to the Dean Martin show. And there I am with Peggy Lee and Ella Fitzgerald. So imagine, the people that I was able to meet. And we'd be at Christmas Eve at our house, and Rosemary Clooney would be sitting next to me, and we'd be singing, wow, "Have yourself a merry little Christmas." I'm going, I'm sitting here with Rosemary Clooney. An amazing life, I must say.
On top of being amazing, I think it's going to kick up a notch, because you may be one of very few people that have spent some time with icons like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley as well, on top of Rosemary Clooney and all these people. Do you recall any time spent with Marilyn or Elvis?
Well, my favorite time with Marilyn, and I met her a couple times, was we're at 601 Mountain Drive. It's the big house that we all grew up in. All, Craig, Claudia, Gail, Dina, Dino, Ricky, Gina, my mom and dad. And Marilyn Monroe came over, and I'll never forget it. We were, Dino and I, my brother Dean Paul, Captain Dean Paul, we were down in the living room, and we were doing the twist for Marilyn Monroe while Bobby Darin was singing "Up a Lazy River Down the Old Mill Run." Unbelievable.
That is unreal.
Can you believe that? I did the twist for Marilyn Monroe with my brother and Bobby Darin singing. So that was remarkable. And I have lots of paintings of Marilyn Monroe downstairs in our fabulous dining room. But Elvis Presley, and I'm thinking I was 9, I guess, when I met him. And we went to Paramount Studios with Dad. He invited us to come down to Paramount, and we're standing out in front of his dressing room outside, standing out there. And all of a sudden, I see this man drive up in his on a bicycle, and it's Elvis. Oh my gosh, it's Elvis Presley! He came over, he stopped, and we were introduced to him, and he knelt down, and took my little hand in his, and he said, I love your father, Deana. And in fact, they call me the king of rock and roll, but your dad, he's the king of cool. Oh my gosh, I have to breathe. I couldn't believe it's Elvis. And it was, quite something. And of course, I saw him many times after that. But that was thrilling to me that he would say he's the king of cool.
That's awesome.
Oh man. And Dad was the king of cool. Mm-hmm. Still is.
You trained professionally at Dartington College of Arts in the UK and then co-starred in the national Broadway tour of Neil Simon's play Star Spangled Girl with George Hamilton and Jimmy Boyd. What did that teach you, Deana?
Wow. Wow. What did it teach me? It was so much fun being, now, first of all, I had studied and I knew about, being on stage and, doing it in theater. George Hamilton, however, had not. He was fantastic in all of his TV roles and, movie stars. So this was his first play that he was doing, a live stage play. And as luck would have it, we had Neil Simon's brother, Danny Simon. Neil Simon wrote the play, Star Spangled Girl. And Danny was directing us. And he was, of course, a fabulous director. And, we were the national touring company, but I learned everybody's lines. This is what I was always taught in case somebody goes up on their lines, because there's no cue cards. And so I helped George through it, and he was fabulous. Jimmy Boyd was such a pro anyways. And it was just the three of us. That's the whole cast. And we had so much fun. And I really learned about how you have to keep, because it was a long time, the national touring company. So you have to make it fresh. And your lines, and sometimes someone will come up, someone will go up on their line, and then you have to say the line kind of like the way they should have. So it taught me discipline. It taught me humility. I was doing, I'm trying to think of the play. I Shot in the Dark with Michael Cole, where I was the Audrey Hepburn, and she was blind. And, so I'm there doing the play with Michael Cole. He was from the Mod Squad. And I think it was his first play too, but he fell off the stage. He got too close to the edge, so you have to, live performances are always fun. Mm-hmm. And it was quite something to be able to travel around and do these plays. And it just added so much more to me as an actor, and, the whole life experience. And it's pretty amazing.
In 2013, you released Destination Moon, that included a duet with your father on Cole Porter's tune, True Love. I mean, I listened to it. It's fabulous. Where did this idea come from? I mean, I get the idea, but how did you pull it off?
It was amazing. My handsome husband, John, he found the original handwritten Nelson Riddle arrangement of Cole Porter's True Love. And so we went in, we always have fabulous, musicians, and we re-recorded the track. And I went to, there was, Capitol, I had the headset on, and we had Al Schmidt was the engineer. Al Schmidt is the one who put together Unforgettable with Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. So he was the one that, put their voices together. So I knew we were in good hands. And I'm there at Capitol, and I'm singing the song, and I have on the headset because I hear the music, fabulous music. And then I hear my dad's voice, and I couldn't get through it the first time, but I'm holding his chart. It says Dean Martin, Cole Porter, True Love. And I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to get through it. Took me about 3 or 4 times. And, so I finished it, and it was so beautiful. And Al Schmidt says, come on inside. So I went into the booth, and he played it for me, and I cried. It was so overwhelming because it's perfect how he blended it together. Mm-hmm. And, for me, and I do it on all of my shows, I have a fabulous video of, photographs and things. And it's very hard for me to get through it when I'm doing it live. And looking at I can't look at the pictures because, it's like, it's really overwhelming. Sometimes I can't get through it, but it's such a beautiful song. And the way my dad sang it was just, fabulous. So it's near and dear to my heart. True Love. What could be better than that?
It's fabulous. And speaking of all that, of having a hard time and giving tribute to your father, you did a concert to honor your father on his 100th birthday. I mean, that had to feel so special for you to do. And how difficult was it for you to get through that?
It was a remarkable thing. We did it in Las Vegas at the, I think the South Point. I had all the gold diggers. They all showed up. Unbelievable. Now that's like herding cats. Okay. They're all beautiful. They're fabulous singers and dancers. And my poor husband, John, who produced the whole thing, he says, come on, ladies, it's time to rehearse. We're going to do the show. But it was so wonderful to be on stage and having my fabulous band and these fabulous arrangements and the gold diggers. So it was just spectacular to be able to do that and to have the humor. And the audience was just, they couldn't believe it. It was so much fun. And it wasn't a sad thing. It was a great thing. But to be there with the gold diggers and the audience in that setting, because it reminds me a great deal of the, of the Sands Hotel. But, it was just a spectacular feeling for me. And, we'll go back. We'll do another one. Always, I just love to honor Dean Martin. I mean, he was just incredible.
I live in Las Vegas, so I'm sorry I missed that, but I'll be looking for it the next time you come back through with that one for sure.
Okay, I'm sorry you missed that one. And so we'll probably be there doing, Deana Martin Celebrity Roast. Again, I've roasted Joe Mantegna and Dennis Bono. But it's fabulous. And all the comedians who come, and we do a real Deana Martin Celebrity Roast. So I'll have to invite you the next time we think about doing one of those.
I would be honored to come. In 2016, you had your 5th LP release, Swing Street, that has 15 tracks that include I've Been Around, New York State of Mind, Quando, 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 and Tennessee Whiskey. You recorded at Capitol Records in the same room your father recorded in. Deana, if you would speak about 1, the LP, and then 2, the feelings of being in that same room that your dad recorded in.
It was quite remarkable. And again, as I say, because I was there when he recorded Memories Are Made of This. So walking down that hallway, I don't know if you've ever been there.
No, I've not.
But it's lined with big photographs, black and white photographs. And it's of Peggy Lee, Judy Garland, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, the Beatles. And as you're walking down that hallway, you go, oh my gosh, we're going into Studio A. Then you walk in there and it's all the musicians are there. And some of the people, of course, who played on my dad's records. When I was there, Cipriani, on the flute, and the clarinet. So I'm there and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is remarkable. And Patrick Williams was conducting and he wrote a lot of the songs. And as I say, we had Al Schmidt. So it was an unbelievable experience for me to be doing that there with those musicians and that time. So Swing Street, and it's perfect. But those songs were so great. And I have to say that Chris Walden, who was the one who he did the arrangement and conducting for New York State of Mind, did it, just beautiful. And to sing, Tennessee Whiskey, because it's a song I always loved. Chris Stapleton, it was fantastic. So it was a great mix of music. And it was just an overwhelming experience again for me to be there. And it was so much fun. I had the A-team. And in fact, on my website, deanamartin.com, you can click on Swing Street and it shows the whole experience. We had like a 360-degree camera. So I was able to, sing a song. We've got Patrick and he's conducting and there's all the musicians and my musical director, Rick Creevy, on the piano. It's quite fantastic. So people can look at that and it's fun to show what it was like at Capitol. And we're going to go back there and do some more.
DeanaMartin.com. Go to the show notes. I'm going to put a link. You can also see where she's going to be performing at. You can sign up for her newsletter to get informed when that is. But if you want to see Deana before then, 76 weeks in a row, Facebook live shows on Fridays, folks. Make sure you get tuned in on YouTube, her website, or Facebook. You can catch Deana every Friday doing about an hour shows, singing, talking, having a couple drinks. A great idea. It looks like you have so much fun doing this. And she's got a drink right there.
I got a sippy poo. Cheers.
Cheers.
And then on Sunday night, I have the radio show.
And where can they find that at, Deana?
I think it's 77 WABC. They can go onto my website, and I think you can click there. And I think this is my 8th one that we've done. And I'm playing all the fabulous songs. And I say who wrote it, who arranged it. And, so, it's a fun show. So it'd be nice for them to listen and make requests. Yes. What songs they would like to hear. Same thing with my Facebook Live show. They can, send me emails. Send me DeanaMartin.com. Just keep in touch and let me know what songs they would like to hear. I've learned over this past year, over the 77 shows that we've done, well, it'll be 77, 70 new songs that we've had, that we've written new arrangements for and things like that. So it's been quite tiring. It's a lot of work, but I got a great crew. We've got, John, my handsome husband, John, and Rosario, and Rick Creevy over in Boca Raton writing the arrangements, and Eddie Mena on sax in Tennessee, and Vinny Raniola in New York. So the whole thing, I got a great team. I'm very, very lucky.
Deana, when I say the word dreams, what comes to mind?
Oh, dreams. Gosh, first of all, dream big, because dreams do come true. And if you work hard, if you have something clear in your mind that that some people say dreams aren't that clear. My dreams are very clear. And I made my dreams come true. And I'm still making my dreams come true. So it's something that, deep in your heart, when you feel something that you really want to do, you can do it. If you work hard enough, I think you can. My dad always taught me to, really work hard. And that was it, to treat people the way you want to be treated and work hard. And, when you leave a place, make them happy that you were there. And, it's something that my dad always did. And, give to, charities. I do a lot of, shows for that. It's important, but always dream big, and they do come true.
Is this really true? Did this happen in 1968? Were you on the dating game and actually picked Steve Martin? Did that happen?
I'm so glad I picked him. I was blonde. I was blonde because I was doing a couple. Well, I might have been doing. Let me see. There was a few movies I did when I was blonde. But because I went blonde, because I was doing Star Spangled Girl, because she was a blonde. And yes, I was on the dating game. Picked Steve Martin because he was so funny. And I'm so glad that I picked him, because the others, they weren't as funny. But we went to Portofino, Italy. Wow. We had a chaperone, and we went, and we had a lot of fun. And he was a wild and crazy guy. He was it was a spectacular time. We really had a good time.
You've done such a great job of keeping your father's memory alive. But how do you want your memory to be?
Oh, I want them to know that, that I was a good singer. I had a good time. I made them laugh, and I made them feel good. I would like for that's what's important to me, is to make people feel good and, forget their troubles and just be entertained for a while, and just know that I was, I worked hard and studied hard, and just to bring a little light into their lives.
Deana, thanks so much for taking some time out of your crazy busy schedule and being on my podcast. I greatly appreciate your time.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much. And, wow, good questions. This was a dream come true. I've had people, and interview me, and they go, "So what have you been doing?" So you knew what I've been doing. This is great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And when we come to Vegas, we have to get together.
I would love that. Thank you so much. People, if you would follow me anywhere that podcast can be found, you can link, subscribe, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere, and follow me on Instagram at Before the Lights Podcast. Thank you for listening to Before the Lights. I'm Tommy Canale. And until next time, everybody, I salute a chin chin.